Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to be part of today's event. I do want to stand on existing protocol and acknowledge the distinguished guests who are amongst us. Thank you to GetBundi and Rosita and his team who have invited me courteously this morning. However, this is not my first time to be intersected in their story. Full disclosure, I've been here in Nigeria since about August 2023, and more recently as the acting senior trade commissioner, so overseeing 6 priority sectors that Canada has investments here in Nigeria. 6 of them are education, ICT, agriculture, oil and gas, clean tech, and aerospace and defense. But you can see why our interests are here today in terms of ed and tech, in terms of the crossover of the importance of those 2 sectors, and how actually they are going to be the driving force for economic development, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. Now, that's not just particular to here in this region, but that's the pedagogical framework that is applied in advanced economies. So in our case, in Canada, we've done the same thing. We've invested significantly, at least in the last 20 years, and I'm a product of that, of STEM education, of ensuring that students and employers and leaders and entrepreneurs of tomorrow are equipped at a very young age with what will be essentially the digital age, the 4th industrial revolution. And Nigeria, actually, to be quite honest, you've been doing this for the last 20 years. The reality is that many of your skilled, digitally skilled, and talents are exported around the world. Some of them are in Silicon Valley, some of them are in Toronto, some of them are in Singapore, some of them are in Shanghai, and some of them are here in Lagos. What I understand that GetBundi is doing is trying to scale that with the reality of your population of 200 million? Yeah. And then and that percentage of what, 70% of that under the age of 30? Lagos alone, I think, is a top 5 economy in all of Africa. So the responsibility is going to lie, heavy responsibility, is going to lie on Nigeria of equipping tomorrow's economic drivers. And that starts with its young people. But one thing that I'm also quite impressed with is that the reality is there's still adults with a lack of digital literacy, and that you've done specific initiatives, particularly targeting women, to ensure that they're equipped and included in the driving and shifting forces of this economy. But you already know that. I'm preaching to the choir in that respect. But what we're identifying and what our role here is to identify partners, to identify Nigerian stakeholders that can partner with Canadian institutions. One, whether they be private sector players to invest here in Nigeria in the form of tech companies seeking JVs, or academic institutions invested in advanced research. We are also recipients, many of our institutions, of the very best that Nigeria has offered, who are a part of many faculty who are driving innovation and technological ingenuity. One of the significant bridges that we want to see is that institution and ecosystems are also developed, not just in the highly concentrated areas of Lagos, for example, but spread out across Nigeria, whether that be in Abuja, Kano, whether that be in Port Harcourt. Am I missing any major other cities? Kaduna, right? Let's be quite honest. For economic development to really thrive in this country, it's going to see a higher scale and spread of institutions and ecosystems throughout. I'll be quite honest. In my 8 months here, I've been meeting young tech entrepreneurs spread out across your country in parts of Nigeria that do not always have consistent power or electricity. Parts of Tanabra who are inventing different types of platforms to reach specific rural students. So the ingenuity is fascinating, and that is the incentive, because the benefit not only to Nigeria here will you experience the impact economically, but guess what? The rest of the African region will feel that impact. And guess what? The supply chain, in terms of the value chain, will also have that impact. So individuals in Canada, investors in Canada, will be keen on wanting to invest in the next great thing. And let's see that next great thing be here in Nigeria. But that starts with, you can clap for that as well. But I cannot underestimate the insignificant value that digital education needs as the foundation for those driving forces that will develop ecosystems and that will be obviously and have an impact in terms of economic development. So you can trust us that we are seeking to continue to build bridges like entities like GetBundi, but also other entities, both in the public sector as well as in the private sector here in Nigeria. Thank you very much for this great invitation. If you don't get a chance to see me, feel free to reach out to GetBundi for my contacts. Again, congratulations to GetBundi and the team, and wishing everyone here a beneficial rest of the morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.